Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do a follow-up from my two previous videos about hospital bags. I will link them below if you haven't seen them, but basically I did a what is in my hospital bag and what is in my baby's hospital bag, and these were things that I packed when I went into hospital to have my little boy. So I packed these bags based on a list that I found on Mothercare. And kind of also advice from my antenatal classes. I will link the link to the Mothercare list below as it is really useful. But I must admit we took way too much stuff in. So we ended up going to hospital with 3 bags. So we had my changing bag, which was packed full of baby stuff. I had a suitcase that was packed full of my stuff, and I had a backpack packed full of things as well, kind of snacks and what I called activities. So and we just had far too much stuff. Now we weren't in hospital very long. We were only in a hospital for about 36 hours, so it's probably why we seem to have a lot of things compared to the time that we were in there for. But there were some genuine things that I just didn't need, and kind of wish that I hadn't brought really. So let's start with the activities. My labour wasn't very long, which I was very lucky for, and we went in hospital long afterwards. And when you are in hospital with a baby, well, because I wasn't there very long, I found that I was completely preoccupied with the baby and I didn't really have time to do much else. When we went to our antenatal classes, which were fantastic, and I can't recommend, it more, really. I think they're so useful to go. But when we were there, they made it sound like, well, my mum actually asked, do you think you're going off on holiday camp or something, not going into hospital for, birth? Because I know they were saying, download lots of episodes on your iPad to watch, take music, take books, take magazines, take loads of snacks. We didn't use them. And I met up with all my girly friends from the antenatal classes recently, and they all said the same. Okay, some of their labours were long. I mean, some of their labours were 40 hours plus, but they didn't use the activity bag that we'd all packed, because to be quite honest, none of us felt like kind of doing any of those things in labour. You're so focused on what you're doing, even if you're just contracting, you're not in active labour, you're in so much pain that really you haven't got time to stick on an episode of The Walking Dead. You're just in pain and you just want to get through it. I know I personally felt like I didn't want anything that I kind of planned in that instance. I had music downloaded, I had hypnobirthing tracks downloaded, and my fiance was like, do you want me to put on your music? I was like, no, I just want to get on with this. And I didn't want to eat anything. I had chocolate bars, crisps, fruit. I didn't want to eat anything. I just wanted to drink water, and kind of make it through. I think obviously packing snacks for your other halves, definitely, because they'll just be sat there bored, bless them. So personally for me, and quite a lot of people that I've kind of spoken with, you don't need to take loads and loads of stuff for you to do into hospital, because you probably won't end up feeling like doing them. I'd recommend definitely pack your iPod with your favourite music on, or at least a couple of episodes of something to watch, just in case you want your mind taken off. But I mean, we took loads. I mean, I had books, magazines, everything with me. We had a whole bag full of stuff. It was just ridiculous. So definitely don't need to pack that much in that area. And then in my suitcase, I had loads of things in my bag that I kind of ended up not using. I'd been told, take loads of towels, they won't give you any towels, and they did. I mean, it might not be the same in every hospital, so I definitely say, take one towel, just in case, because you don't want to be left without a towel. But I had 3 towels with me, as I just envisioned needing to use them. I had 3 towels, and they just took up so much space. I had 4 or 5 different outfits when all I actually really needed was nursing stuff, and I'd never really thought about that. So I had loads of comfy things. I was thinking comfort, so I had lots of kind of stretchy leggings, stretchy bottoms, and luckily I'd packed 3 nursing night dresses just because they came in a pack from Mothercare that I'd bought. And I'm so glad that they did, because that's all I wore when I was in hospital. Just put on a fresh nightie every so now and then, because it was so hot in there. I felt like I wanted to have fresh clothes all the time. But nursing stuff, invaluable. I hadn't really thought about it, and the outfit that I'd packed to go home in was definitely not practical for nursing, so I'm really glad that I just kind of shoved that on and we quickly went home. So yeah, more definitely pack nursing kind of clothes, and just a nightie because you wouldn't be bothered to be putting on trousers. Well, I wasn't anyway. And what else did I have from my case that I didn't really use? Oh, my toiletries. I'd taken so many toiletries. I'd taken full makeup, I'd packed like all my shower gels, all my body lotions, everything that I'd normally use. I just didn't have time to do any of it. I think I put on some mascara at one point after he'd been born, just because I looked like death in the mirror, and I thought, oh, I need a bit of mascara. But I'd packed so much in terms of toiletries that I just didn't need. Just bring the basics, you know, bit of soap, shampoo and conditioner, and your toothbrush and toothpaste and things like that. Also, just, well, I probably would take my makeup in again, but probably not as much as I took in. Bear in mind that you may not have access to a plug. I didn't have access to a plug, which I was a bit shocked about. I could charge my phone because there was a USB port in the television, that they, you know, the pull-over television. There was a USB port in there, so I charged my phone off that. But I had been thinking about bringing my hairdryer and straighteners and things like that, and there just wouldn't have been a plug to plug them in anyway, so it may not be useful to bring that kind of stuff, and honestly you won't think about using it. So that was kind of things I didn't use in my bag. The things that I found most useful and probably wish that I'd had more of was kind of the stretchy kind of surgical knickers. They were really great because after labour, trust me, you'll just pull them off and you'll throw them away each time you kind of change clothing. I wish I'd packed more of them. I wish I'd packed more maternity pads because I don't think I realised how many that I'd actually need, you know, in the immediate hours after birth. And I wish I'd packed some kind of bigger, stretchier pants as well, because I kind of, not naively thought, but let's just say when you have a baby and you know go to leave hospital, you pretty much still look like you're pregnant, so don't be thinking, oh, I can take this and that, you know. I just wanted big, stretchy, comfortable things, so I definitely packed more of that. But everything else I packed in my bag I did find, you know, useful. And as for things that I didn't use in baby's bag, well, oh my goodness, I'd packed so much stuff in his bag. It was absolutely rammed. I had wipes coming out of my ears. I had all sorts of different lotions, potions, creams. I had baby bath stuff, everything. Honestly, I didn't use half of it. And I totally misjudged on the sizing as well. I packed loads of up to 1 month stuff. No newborn, nothing. Well, one newborn sleep suit, which I'm glad I had in the end because he wasn't as big as I thought. You just can't estimate these things. I wish I'd packed more newborn stuff that actually kind of fitted him well, instead of just being absolutely huge on him. And I packed loads of different outfits. I packed, you know, like daytime outfits and, you know, loads of sleep suits. I just needed a couple of sleep suits, mainly sleep suits, because really at that age they're kind of really resistant to getting changed because they haven't really done it before. They're brand new to the world, and suddenly you're shoving clothes on and off them. So he didn't really like it, and he definitely wasn't going to bear to shove him into, you know, like trousers and tops. So definitely just take sleep suits. I found that most useful. Things I honestly didn't use were the daytime outfits I'd packed. I didn't even use his coming home from hospital outfit. I know a lot of people make the specific kind of choice to dress him in that when they're coming home, but it was late on in the afternoon. He was asleep. I really didn't want to disturb him to get him dressed up in something, you know, special. And he was going to go straight in his car seat, you know, covered with a snowsuit anyway. So in the end, I just didn't do that. I also didn't use all the nappies that I'd taken. I must have packed about 30 to 40 nappies in this bag. It was absolutely spilling out with them. But we were only in there for 36 hours and I just didn't use half of them. They don't really go that much when they're first born. So I definitely overpacked on the nappies. I overpacked on things like wipes and Sudocrem and stuff like that because they kind of just have cotton wool and water, which I hadn't fully realised. And when we were in the hospital and they said, oh, just use cotton wool and water, it did make 100% more sense. And you know, because you can have the water warm, it's nice and warm for them and the cotton wool's nice and soft, and I just hadn't really thought about that. So next time I'd definitely pack. I probably wouldn't even take wipes with me. I didn't start using wipes until last week when he was 6 weeks old, so I definitely wouldn't take wipes. I wouldn't really take any of the kind of nappy creams because we didn't really use them until a couple of weeks in. Just kind of take some cotton wool and then just use warm water for them. One thing that I was really glad that I packed was muslin cloths. I can't even stress how much we've used them from day one. They're so good for burping. You know, we've got a bit of a sicky baby, so we always have to have muslin near us, and they're great. You can just put them over them if they're a bit, you know, if it's not too cold. Put a little muslin around them just to keep them a little bit warmer. I packed one blanket in the hospital bag, and I kind of wish that I'd packed more. I don't know why I hadn't thought about it, but obviously for the first few days I spend most of it just wrapped in a blanket because they're still really new, they're still getting used to the temperature of the outside world, and they will be really cold. I'd only packed one, so we were super lucky that he wasn't absolutely sick all over it, and then we wouldn't have had a blanket to put him in. Another thing that I kind of didn't really pack well on was hats. I had a couple of hats in there, one that my mum had knitted and then 2 cotton ones, and they didn't fit his head at all. And the problem with cotton hats is they don't stretch, they've got no elastic in the brim, and they just don't stretch at all, so we couldn't have put it in his head. If we hadn't had this one that my mum had knitted, we wouldn't have been able to put him in any hat. And they really need a hat when they're first born because obviously it's really, really cold, and obviously they need a hat to wear home as well. So I definitely suggest either packing a knitted hat because it's stretchy, or some sort of stretchy cotton hat, not the kind of, because all the baby ones that are sold are actually quite tight, there's no give in them. Was there anything that I'd wish that I'd had with me that I didn't take? Not really. I think I just kind of overpacked on everything. I didn't really use half the stuff that I thought I would. I think it was because we were in there for so short a time. But no, there wasn't anything glaring that I really wish we'd taken apart from more hats and kind of smaller clothing, but that was just how it turned out for our baby. If you have any advice or tips, or you took loads of stuff in and didn't need it in the end, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, guys. Please feel free to like, comment and subscribe.